Hello, my name is Elkrief, and in this video I'm going to talk about why practicing the law of attraction can't give you the happiness you want and will actually create a tremendous amount of suffering. So if you've been practicing the law of attraction, you are going to experience so much relief by the end of this video, and everything will start to make sense. And if you haven't yet practiced the law of attraction, this video is going to save you a lot of time, energy, and suffering. So, the premise of law of attraction is very simple. If you think about it enough and in the right way and imagine your goals so clearly and in whatever way is necessary, you will create them and you will achieve your goals. And that sounds very nice, because that means it's in your hands, you can do it. There are two major issues with that premise, okay? One is, why do you want to achieve your goals? How do you hope you will feel when you achieve your goals? Just take a moment and really answer that. What is the most important thing to you in life? What do you want more than anything else? You may have an idea like success, family, power, wealth, appreciation, respect, purpose, potential. But why do you want that? How do you hope you will feel when you get that? Because the real truth, if you're willing to be honest with yourself and really willing to ask yourself what you really want, the truth is that you want peace. The truth is that you just want to feel okay. The truth is you want to feel whole and enough and worthy. And what happens is, we create these goals not because we want to achieve the goal in and of itself, but only because we hope it will give us what we ultimately want, peace. You don't want success, you want peace, and you hope success will give it to you. You don't want appreciation and love and to achieve your purpose and have meaning. What you want is peace, and you hope getting meaning and purpose will give you peace. If I gave you two options, have success and be incredibly unhappy, worry all the time, anxiety, shame, insecurities, problems in your relationship, guilt, all that stuff, or have no success but live in peace, live with freedom, live completely happy and okay with no insecurities. Which would you choose? I'm not saying those are your choices in life. I'm not saying you can't be happy with success and that you will be happy without it. I'm saying, if those were your two choices, which would you choose? Achieving your goal and being incredibly unhappy, or not achieving your goal and being happy? For most people, when I ask that question, the answer is very, very clear and obvious. Well, I'd rather be happy and in peace than achieve my goal. But what happens is, you think that achieving your goal is peace. So it seems impossible to not achieve your goal and be happy. How could I be happy if I don't achieve my goal? But that's a misunderstanding. So the first thing you need to recognize is, what do you want most in life? What is number one most important thing to you? And if you're willing to look, the answer is peace. Peace. So achieving success is not the goal, it is the means. Achieving whatever you want is not the goal, it is the means to get to your goal. If you think you want ice cream, you don't. You want the pleasure you think ice cream will give you. If ice cream didn't give you pleasure, you wouldn't want it. The goal is to feel good, not to get what you want. Right? So if you see that, then let's assume the law of attraction, if you think about it enough, you can get it. Let's assume that part is true, just for right now. But can getting what you want give you what you really want? Can achieving your goals give you the peace you've been looking for? You see, when we look at how to be happy, we look at it as if I just get something that will give me happiness. As this happiness and peace is out there and I just need to get it. But what makes you unhappy? Thoughts that create anxiety about the future. Thoughts that make you worry about others' opinions. Thoughts that create insecurities, thoughts that create shame, thoughts that create guilt, thoughts that create sadness, thoughts that create anger and resentment, thoughts that judge others. In other words, the only thing that creates your suffering is thought. So can success eliminate all the thoughts in your head? Is everybody that's successful not have anxiety about what their boss thinks and losing their job? Does everyone who's successful not have problems in their relationship? Do they not feel guilty about their parenting skills? Do they not worry about others' opinions? Whatever goal you have, just take a moment now and ask yourself, can it eliminate all of the thoughts that create the suffering that I currently have? If you have a thought that says, my life isn't good enough because I don't have any money, then when you get money, you won't have that thought. But you'll still have all the other ones. And then if you think money caused your happiness, then you'll worry about losing the money. So you'll have a whole bunch of new ones. You'll have a lot of the same old ones. So it can't give you the happiness you want. It can't give you the peace you want. So when you're practicing law of attraction, you're trying so hard all the time to get you something which can't give you what you want. And we'll get to the amount of suffering that it causes in a little bit. But for right now, just see, even if it got you to achieve your goals, you'd still be unhappy. You'd still have all the same suffering you have now, practically. Maybe more. So, on to the next major premise of law of attraction and why it isn't true, real, or doesn't make you happy. So the idea is that if you think about it, you will create it. And that seems like a nice idea, but let's examine that. Okay, let's really investigate the validity of that assumption. So, the way cause and effect works is that if a cause has an effect, it has that effect every time, right? So if you have a flame and you put your finger to the flame, every single time you will get burned, right? It creates heat for every person, every time. That's how you know flame creates heat, because every person, when they come into contact with it, they feel heat. If positive thoughts, imagining a future outcome, created that outcome, then it would work every single time for every person. But is that the way it works? I'll give you an example. If there is an athlete, okay? If there's an athlete, what law of attraction would like you to believe is that if that athlete is confident and imagines the future where he becomes a professional and he feels he can do it and he convinces himself he can do it and he pictures it over and over again, he'll make it there. But if he pictures that he's not going to do it and he's a little bit negative about it, then he'll never make it, right? And that he won't be confident enough to try hard enough or something like that. And that may happen. The one who's confident and pictures it may get it, and the one who's not may not get it. But the opposite is also true. Sometimes, I've seen it so many times, in any field, sometimes when you believe you're going to get it, and you think, I'm definitely going to get it, and you're almost certain you're going to get it, and you're almost certain you're so great at it, then sometimes you don't try as hard. Overconfident, or not even overconfident, just you're confident, so you don't need to try as hard. Or maybe you do try as hard, and you don't succeed. You picture it, you believe you can do it, and you don't succeed. It happens all the time. And the one who is not confident, well, they might focus, instead of focusing on everything they're good at, they might focus on all the things that they're bad at, and be down all the time, and sad about it all the time. And even if they do well in a game, they're still sad about it because they're focused on the little things they messed up. But maybe focusing on all those little things they messed up will get them to improve even more, and then they make it professional. They achieve their goal. And that can happen in every field. Imagining that it will work out doesn't mean that it will. Telling yourself I am great at it doesn't mean that you're going to achieve anything. And telling yourself I am terrible doesn't mean that you won't. It happens all the time on exams. You can go into the exam extremely confident, picturing the A, picturing the good score, and then you don't do well. Things come up on the test you weren't ready for. You weren't expecting it. Or somehow you just didn't remember the things that you studied, even though you pictured that you would get there. Or sometimes you go into a test thinking, I'm not going to do well. It's going to go so badly. And then you get a good grade. You think there's no way I'm going to get a good grade. And then you do. If the thoughts in your head created the outcome, that would never, ever occur. but yet it does over and over and over again. To give you another example, imagine I give 10 people a rain dance, and I say, if you do this over and over again, you will create rain in your town. And then 10 people do it in different towns all over the country. And then 2 of them come back to me and say, it worked, it rained that day. Does that mean that doing this creates rain? No, it was a coincidence. A complete coincidence that this didn't create rain, it just rained and they happened to do this. But if those 2 people then share with the other 8 people, I did the rain dance and it worked, it rained in my town, then the other 8 people are going to think, what am I doing wrong? Why isn't this working? But it's not that they're doing it wrong. That was just a coincidence. So, now on to the suffering that law of attraction creates. One of which I just alluded to in that last example. And that is, if you believe that thinking about it can create it, thinking about achieving your goal can create that outcome that you're looking for, well, that means you're going to pressure yourself all day to try to battle the thoughts in your head. If they're being negative, you battle them and try to push them away. And why can't I push them away? And trying to make them positive all the time. Which is a bit of an agitation, to say the least. Then, when you're not getting closer to your goal, or if you didn't achieve your goal, that creates shame and self-hatred because you're trying to achieve it. What am I doing wrong? Why isn't this working? So much frustration and shame comes from that. Then, if you believe that achieving your goal will give you the happiness you've always been looking for, which is the premise of law of attraction, then you will also believe that if you don't achieve that goal, you will be unhappy. So that creates anxiety and fear. If you think your happiness is dependent on achieving a particular outcome, you are going to fear not achieving it. There's no way around that. But luckily, your happiness is not dependent on achieving an outcome, because the outcome can't get rid of the thoughts in your head. On top of that, when you believe that achieving your fantasy, your goal, will give you happiness, what you automatically, unconsciously are doing is comparing the moment when you achieve your fantasy to this moment right now. If you believe success is the greatest, travel is the greatest, wealth is the greatest, well then what does that make you feel about this moment? It makes you feel lacking. It makes you feel empty. It makes you feel insufficient and unworthy because you are not there. All you do over and over again is compare this moment to your fantasy. And you think that's helping you get there when all it's really doing is creating anxiety, lack, frustration, and a constant efforting in your head. If some people think positive and achieve their goals, that doesn't mean that thinking positive created their goals. It just means they achieved their goals. Some people think negative and achieve their goals. It doesn't create it. You have to look at the difference between correlation and causation. It doesn't create it. And even if it did, it wouldn't give you happiness and it would just create so much suffering. So, I welcome you to ask, investigate. What do I really want? Peace. And what is preventing me from it? Just believing the thoughts in my head. That's it. So if you want to start addressing the thoughts directly, instead of trying to change everything external in your life to hopefully give you happiness, you can check out the other videos on my channel, or my free ebook, or anything along those lines. So thank you for watching. I hope it helped and gave you some relief, or at least got you to not go in that direction. So I'll see you on the next video. Bye. Hello again. If you found my video helpful or you enjoyed it, I welcome you to click on one of the videos below, as you might find them helpful as well. Or, if you want to make sure you never miss another video of mine again, you can click the subscribe button over there, And if you want my free ebook, you're welcome to click the free ebook button over there. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you around.